This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning.
Hey, Richard.
Hey. It's kind of dark there.
Yes, it's nighttime. Oh. Let's see. Come on.
So where are you? The garage?
I'm leaving the garage now. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Oh, close the gate. Oh yeah, I did. It hurt. Coming in, Sassy. Oh. Okay.
Everything going all right?
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, would you put this in the refrigerator, Concha? Sure. Is your brother home? Did her mom come home? Do you know? George? Hmm.
Were there any sessions earlier today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in there. Well, your room's nice and clean. I'm glad to see that, Concha. Yeah. Well, let's hang out in your room. What? Come on, let's look at her room. It's pretty nice.
Is it?
Oh. Hang on, let me switch it around. See her little, oh, I'm showing you a Twinkie. See her room? Yeah. It's got all these posters. Oh, yeah.
And I have a tarot card thing.
Oh, she has a tarot card thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I can get in my room now. I bought this for her birthday. That
Ah.
drawing. One time ago. Let's see if I can turn this around again. That's George's bed. You know who that is? The famous sassy dog. Can't see that. Let's see. Switch it around. There we go. I'm gonna sit out here for a few minutes.
Well,
Yeah, how's it going, Richard?
not much has changed since we last spoke.
That's good, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I guess it can be a good thing, right?
It apparently appears to be the case. It's apparently appearing to be the same.
Let's see. Today I went to the Free Flow Cafe. I met a gentleman named Michael. I can't remember his last name. And then I've been going to Nancy Nothercut's Zoom meeting. She does like an hour Zoom meeting once a day.
Oh, okay.
Nancy, you friends with Nancy? You met her?
No, I haven't heard of her yet.
She's very I really like her. She's very positive. She's very, she's very poetic, I guess that would be a good way to describe her, but she expresses a lot of love for everybody, it's like it's really amazing, really. It's like, I just love you, and she just, it's like, and it's genuine. You can tell she genuinely, I mean, it might seem weird for someone to tell you if they love you and
Yeah.
you're and all that stuff, especially if you're not used to it, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Michael, he's I guess her and him started that group, or she did, or whatever. They're what do you call it? Common, or I don't want to say a couple. I don't know what to call it. A team, sort of. Not really a team, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like me and you in 50 years. No. I was joking.
Kind of like Richard Sylvester and what is that girl's name?
I can't remember. She's pretty
Dawn.
though.
Yeah, Dawn. Richard Sylvester and Dawn Garland.
No, I tried to listen to her meetings, but I posted one thing. The only thing I could ever say that I've ever said about it is
yeah.
It's hard to hear. Maybe you can move the microphone closer or something like that, because
Yeah.
it really is. It's like she's soft spoken and they have the mic like, I don't fucking know where, but I'm like, what? I can't hear. It's like, I'd need like headphones and some extra equipment. Yeah, first time I seen her, man, I was like, she definitely looked like she was touched. I mean, I don't mean that in a weird way or anything. I just mean you could see how her brain was just like looking at everything and absorbing everything. It's just like she wasn't really there, or she was
yeah.
more there. I don't know. It depends on how you want to look at it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like every little sound, you could see that like she was drawn to little sounds and stuff. It's just interesting. But yeah, she was hard to hear. It's like that was disappointing for me. But yeah, I like her. And Richard's, I listened to him too. I went through I guess you'd say a negative phase where I don't know. This was negative. I don't know how else to put it.
He wrote a book entitled "I Hope You Die Soon."
Oh, that's him. Okay, that's Richard who wrote that. Huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wrote that book. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I thought not Paul. What's his name again? Tony. Didn't Tony or somebody? Is it Richard
Tony
that told Tony?
Tony Parsons. Yeah.
That he hopes he dies soon or something like that?
Yeah, he did. He did tell him that. So I guess he thought that sounds like a good title for a book.
Yeah.
And there it is.
It's funny.
Couldn't get the computer to work.
Oh, it's a kind of bunch of drama, really.
Is it?
Yeah. Drama in life, man.
Easier to use a phone?
Well, I guess you could say that. That'd be one way of putting it. Oh. I think I need a vacation.
Need a vacation from the vacation?
Yeah, apparently I was on one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said I was having too good of a time, I guess. Damn it. Had to go and shake it up. Shit. Yeah.
Well,
What?
all I can say is that everything simply appears to be same as it always been.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Same
Something
as it ever was. Yeah.
Something interesting is one of Nancy's poems It's like in the middle of it, she has a thing that says, I mean, it's not quote unquote, but it's dang near, quote or quote about you can't add something to everything and you can't take something from nothing, or whatever. And I thought, man, that's, to hear that from two different sources is kind of a, and that really, like I told people, I said that was really a heavy thought for me, when I heard it, because it kind of puts everything to rest. It's like, what's there left to do? I mean, if you can't add anything, you can't take away anything, what the fuck's the point?
You can't add anything to everything, and you
Yeah.
can't remove anything from everything. I think that's kind of along the lines of what is stated, I think.
Yeah, so
You can't remove anything from everything, and you can't add anything to everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no separation in between there, so it's like yeah.
One without a second. Exactly right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the meetings today. Nancy's always a positive spirit. Well, whatever you want to call it. Positive energy. A lovely song that she likes to refer to people. Like
Oh,
when
yeah?
like when they speak. I think that's wonderful. It's like, because, it's like, I guess it could be thought of as a bird song, when people talk, they're like singing and, I mean, like the birds, they mimic us, so they don't know we're not singing. We say they're singing. They think we're singing. Why couldn't we not? Maybe we are singing. How the hell do I know? Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's a wonderful thing to say. Yeah.
Well, I finally had an opportunity
Yeah.
to cut the grass,
Oh,
the front yard and the backyard.
nice.
It was getting kind of tall again, and it hadn't been cut since the winter. So I've been growing all that time.
Nice, nice. Nice and thick, huh?
Yeah. Especially the backyard. Well, it's getting fertilized real well with the dog, so.
Oh. Did I already tell you that tomorrow's my mom's Remembrance Day?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go let some of her
Wow.
ashes go.
It's already been a year.
No, it's just a day I'm choosing to remember. It's been
Okay.
it's almost June 4th. June 4th was her departure.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to do it on the spring equinox, whatever, however you say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just symbolism of spring and rebirth and all that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I was hearing people talk about spirits and, well, not people. Well, one was on a Zoom and one was, maybe two people were saying something about spirits. It's like, the only interaction I had with my mother was in a dream. She never appeared before me in any spiritual thing. She never moved anything. She never, nothing was out of the ordinary in the physical. Well, I guess we call this the physical world. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
The dream world's feels more of a, what would you call it, mirage world. But anyways, And that's just perspective too, isn't it? I mean,
Sure it is.
this world can feel like a dream also.
Oh, definitely. And it is considered one, yeah. This
Yeah,
reality is considered a dream world. And it's also considered a matrix as well. There's some
Yeah.
people believe that. Some people believe in virtual reality, matrix,
And some people
simulation.
believe that, and some people believe whatever you believe in, that makes it so for you.
Right. Exactly. It could be
That's
a
just,
simulation.
yes. I'm probably plugged in right now and don't know it. As I said, they put this metal in my back's really it's an alien. They put an alien in my body.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I'd have to say that although we each appear as though we're an individual, there's the appearance as though there's so many different individuals, different ages,
Yeah.
different genetic codes, different family trees, all the complete. Well, they're not necessarily complete, but in a way, the differences appear as though they are. They apparently appear as differences, yet it's still all one. It's all unified.
Right.
In other words, everything is with everything else.
Right.
There's no separation in it. It's all together. It's all blended, coalesced somehow. Somehow blended and coalesced, and yet appears separate with space and time. If we use space and time, and then it seems to cause that sense of separation. Whenever there's space and time involved,
You know,
spatial as in you're there and I'm here. Spaces between, areas here, there, near, far, foreground, midground, background, that kind of thing. And then in time, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Kind of sounds like 2000. That
and
2000, that movie 2000. What is it? 2002 or no? 2001.
Space Odyssey, 2001
Yeah, the
Space Odyssey.
Space Odyssey. Yeah, there was this computer. And
Yeah.
to bring it back online, it would be saying yesterday, today, tomorrow, and then it would be saying it really slow. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, and it would be doing a different way of saying different words like that. And it was bringing that computer back online. I just came to mind. But yeah, then they did the 2010. First one was 2001, and then they did a 2010, I think.
So funny how the visions of the future were so different than,
Yeah.
I think it's funny you're talking about tomorrow. It's like, Nancy was saying that, people ask her, about, why, anyway, she says that, about, she doesn't say that there's nobody there. She goes, well, I'm just real as tomorrow, and it's like, yeah, there is no tomorrow. So I guess, yeah, that's one way of saying there is no one, she's not real. I mean, she's just as real as tomorrow. Or anyways, I just thought that was her way of expressing the non-duality thing is lovely.
In time,
You should check her out sometime when you got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she has lots
I
of
will.
videos. She's wrote books, like poetry books and stuff, which I
Okay.
believe are based on her non-duality experience, or whatever you want to call it, the experience, non-experience, the experience, not experience. Hey, Richard, I heard it somewhere, and then I've heard it more than once. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Right.
That they said something that making nothing a something can, that people can make the nothing, there people talk about the nothingness, that
Yeah.
people can turn the nothingness into a thing, because they're all
Yeah.
looking for nothing, so it becomes a thing. And I thought, oh man, that's trippy. And then I heard that twice, and I was just like, is that a thing? Can people get so focused on, okay, I'm looking for this nothing thing, so then the nothing thing becomes a thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
In other words, in a sense that really seems to make sense, actually, because if you think about it, where are we born from? Well, we're born from out of nowhere, and from nothing, out of nowhere we appear, and out of nowhere, out of nothing we return.
Yeah.
But that's unknowable. That's unknown.
Both are,
It may
right?
be it may be a whole other dimension of
Yeah.
existence, but we can't really prove it.
Yeah.
There's no way of proving that there is an existence beyond this one,
Yeah.
but there could be.
But we at least have now. We have the now, this moments, whatever. You know what I
There
mean?
is
We have life.
there is a
We have life.
sense. Yeah, there is a
Or,
sense
you know what I'm saying?
of feeling enlivened. Yeah, there's a sense of feeling enlivened, or feeling there's energetic movement, or there's energy being
Right.
exerted from this body. This body mind is exerting energy. We appear to be that energy that's enlivening or animating, really.
Yeah, animating.
We're the animating principle of the
Mhm.
body mind, actually. To really look at it, to examine that closely, where the energetic movement, the enlivening principle or awareness or presence that animates the body mind, just as a puppeteer manipulates a puppet. In a sense,
Yeah.
that's kind of how we appear. And then we think with the mind of the body mind, we use it for cognizance or for consciousness. So it's as though our energetic movement or our energy is using the body mind as its host.
Right.
So in a sense, the ground crew is the body mind, or the energetic principle, the energetic movements that enliven the body mind. And that's what I would say we are. We're the energy that enlivens this body mind. And wherever this energy goes, it may go. It may go out into another realm, possibly. Could be another realm that it will exist upon. What that feels like, what that might be like, is unknowable. It's unknown. You can only surmise, only guess, or try to make sense of it, but you can't. We can't really. We're so accustomed to the feelings and the five senses of the body mind. We're so
Yeah.
accustomed to that, the seeing, the hearing, the tasting, the touching, the smelling. We're so accustomed to those modalities. We're so accustomed to that. Anything outside of that, outside of the range of that, doesn't appear to be experiential. What's experiential are the 5 modes, 5 modalities: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. And yet we somehow develop this sense of identity. And that's a learned response. It's a learned response. It really is. So our lives that we call our lives, the lives that we feel that we're living, although life's being lived through the body mind, we have a tendency to personalize it. So we personalize what we draw into ourselves, but we're not really drawing from the outside in. We're really thinking in terms of the body mind, and so it's going out from within and going out. It's not that the world is coming to us. It's just that we're meeting it halfway. We're meeting it halfway, and we're trying to interpret what our brain, our mind is telling us what we see. So we're trying to interpret and filter it. It acts kind of like a filter, filtering what is witnessed of what apparently appears to be a reality base or a world around us. Yet it's prefabricated. It's fictitious. It's whatever we want it to be. There's that believing again. If you believe it, so it is.
Yeah.
Seeing is believing. If whatever you believe, that's what you're going to see. And in a sense, when we pass away, that is what apparently appears to be what is expected. So whatever the body mind expects there to be, it may appear.
Yeah.
So if we expect there to be another reality outside of this one, when we pass over, there may actually appear to be one. Now, that's conjecture. That's a hypothesis. It's a theory.
Of course.
It's not really proven. We really don't know that that's true. But based on reports, based on observations, near-death experiencers, there's a lot to be said about that. I mean, there's a whole subject all together on its own regarding the near-death experience. And it's NDERF.com, Near-Death Experience Research Foundation. And if you go to that site, man, you can spend hours and hours there reading all the different accounts, all the different ages, backgrounds of various people that have had near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences. And there's also what is called an ADE, an after-death experience.
After death?
After-death experience, ADE, where the loved one that is passed on is continuing to communicate
Oh.
with us
Wow.
in some way. And the duration of however long that takes depends on the closure. Depends on what degree of closure did we have with our loved one. Did we get to say our goodbyes? If we did not, they may stick around to give us that opportunity to do so. Now there's all these ideas surrounding the near-death experience like that. And there's something to it. I really do think there is. Because that's the closest that we can get to having some degree of knowledge, some kind of knowledge base regarding what awaits us all Could it be a different place that each and every body mind goes to? Or could it be the same? Is it the same process, same experience for every person, every single body? Everybody that's ever had a body mind is going to go through that same process. So it would appear to be the case, though, that may be what it's like. Whatever the process is, it's the same for every body mind. Now, what about the animals? Now we wonder, do they have a soul? They have an essence. They appear to be. They're so closely related to us. If we just notice, they sleep, they dream. I've seen my dog dreaming.
Yeah.
He quivers and his paws shake.
He
His paws shake
runs.
and he kind of yelps. He goes, you know, and
His tail wags. Does he wag his tail
yeah,
sometimes?
and yet he's asleep. So you can tell he's dreaming. So
You know what
if
I
the
like?
dog,
Oh, it
if
doesn't matter.
dogs and cats can dream just like we do, there's some kind of a parallel
Something's
there.
happening.
And there's some people that report running into their pets when they passed over, they crossed over, and they meet their pets, young again, alive, a younger version of them.
Oh, what would I
Now,
know? You never know, I guess. Is that
yeah,
your man?
well,
Hey,
it would be a good thing. It's a positive thing to think in those terms, to think it that way, that there may be another existence awaiting us, and it may go on and on that way for everybody. Perhaps so.
I'm going to bed. I'm tired.
Oh, little grandson. I want some pie.
I don't care. I'm tired.
Just that chicken stuff. Please. Remember all those times I cut your French toast when you were little? It's nice. His girlfriend's mom sent home some Salvadorian chicken. El Salvador. They're from El Salvador.
El Salvador, yeah.
Yeah. So El Salvadorian chicken. Last time I had it, it was really delicious. I was like, heck yeah. I said, did your girlfriend cook? He said, yeah. I said, I always say this. If he ever finds a woman that can cook, that's it. They're lifers.
That's a keeper there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, he just came home.
No, that's quite all right. It's quite all right. No, it was just a
Life happening, I guess.
it was just a thought that I had in terms of near-death experiences and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, for a minute there, people were talking about glimpses and stuff, and I thought maybe I might have had something happen. I didn't fucking know, to be honest. You know, like there was a couple of experiences that I had that they just, I don't fucking know, man. Like I told them to you before, you know, like one almost made me fall down. I felt like it was like I lost my balance, but it was just so quick and, you know, in a sense how it just like boom, you know, out of nowhere. But you know, and then I started thinking, you know, people were like, you know, talking kind of smack about this having a glimpse, and I thought, well, okay, I don't understand. It seems like a kind of a double-edged sword, you know. It's like, you know, oh, glimpses. And it's like, oh, you had a glimpse. Well, you know, glimpses are whatever. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what to make of this kind of thing. It's like, you know, they talk about glimpses, then you have a glimpse, and it's meaningless. You know, it's like, okay, whatever. I don't fucking know what sides up, man. But or whatever. I mean, fuck, I don't even know what a glimpse is. You know, it's like shit. That's the point, you know, it's like, who knows? And then the other thought was like, you know, if your mind can play tricks on you, who the fucking knows? Who knows what's what? You know,
Yeah.
I believe I'm having a glimpse, but you know, maybe it's just an illusion created by my mind.
I think the mind has the ability to
Yeah.
affect each well, I'm going to say that each individual that apparently appears to be an individual. They're not really individuals, but yet they apparently appear to be.
Right.
Yeah, in other words, each person apparently appears to be a person. But we call them a person because that's what we learned. We learned all these things that we're talking about right now. The
Yeah.
speech that the speech that we're using, the English language and all the subject matter that goes along with it, all the concepts and ideas.
They were
That's
talking about
something we learned, and we're familiar with that, and
Yeah.
we're and we have agreements.
yeah.
We have
they're-
agreements with these things because we all agree on what we're discussing. We're talking about something in the English language. We're talking about a subject, and the subject has to do with the concept of being an individual, and that apparently appears to be the case for each and every one of us.
Oh.
So if we take that groundwork right there and just dissect it, just kind of just separate it all and look into all the little intricate pieces, and then try to go back as far as we can to when it all started. When did this all start and begin? Where we agreed upon, okay, there's a birth certificate right there. That's the one. That's the one that I think that a lot of people overlook. I really don't hear anybody bring it up. I don't even hear any particular non-duality speaker speak of their birth certificate. I haven't heard any of them speak of that. So that would be good to use that in a sense to discuss about the birth certificate that reinforces a sense of a separate self, because it really does. That birth certificate right there, in a sense, is a certificate of authenticity. It's a certificate of authenticity in a sense to say, yeah, here's my birth certificate. This makes me an individual. This paper right here, because it has my name on it. It has my birthdays on it, the timestamp, and the place that I was born, the hospital, and they issued it. They issued this birth certificate. It was issued because I was born. I
My
took my
mother
first
says I
breath in the
was.
hospital. Yeah, I took my first breath in the hospital, and so I was born. A birth certificate was created, and a birth certificate is created with everyone else. And so there is where I find the congruency, or that which is related to everyone else, that everyone has a birth certificate. So if I look at the things that we all share, that's all those things that we share are what comprises the individual. We have the birth certificate, we have the name, a birth name, a forename, and a surname, and sometimes a middle name. The time, the date, the place. There it is. And there's also a death certificate that's issued. There's a birth certificate,
Yeah.
a death certificate. Yeah. So there's these
Show up too.
certificates. Yeah. And so we appear to do this in a natural way to keep track. Because that apparently appears to be the best way to keep track of each individual. By keeping a certificate, by having or issuing a certificate to each person that's born and each person that dies. So there's that certificate of authenticity. And then there's the language that we learn. And then there's the things, the day-to-day things that everyone apparently appears to associate with and also do. Well, we need to eat. Everyone eats. Everyone feeds. The need to feed, hunger. That's obvious. So what will always be around? Food. Food will always be around. Yeah.
Or we won't.
So well, that's often a given.
Yeah.
It's something that's taken for granted in a sense. It's taken for granted. You know, and there's air that we breathe. We all breathe air. We all need to drink water. We need to have drinks. That's so food, sustenance. That's something that we all share. Sleeping. We all have to have sleep. Try going without sleep. See what happens.
Yeah.
You
That's
have a
what's happening
tendency-
to that's what's happening to my friend Jenny.
Yeah.
I was writing to her right before you
Uh-huh.
called and said she said she's afraid she's gonna end up in a mental institution. Cause
She can't sleep.
yeah.
She's having trouble sleeping.
And she says she's bipolar.
Yeah. 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 I understand that.
I thought, wow, that's pretty tough. I don't know what to say for her, except for I care about you.
The dog behind you.
Oh,
Look.
I know they're horrible.
Got the bowl of food. The dog wants the food.
I know. I hardly pay attention anymore. Come on.
Yeah,
stop.
but I know, but that's where I notice it shows up.
Yeah.
Are you left-handed?
Yes, sir.
You are. So am I.
All right.
How about that? Yeah. You know, they say that 20% of the population is left-handed.
No. Yeah. Somebody called it southpaw once. I was like, what?
Yeah, southpaw.
I never had.
Well, how about that? I just realized you're left-handed like I am.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. But see, we left-handers think with their right minds.
Yeah. Let's see.
The
We're
right
the only ones in
sphere.
our right mind.
Yeah, the right sphere or the right side of the mind, which is abstract thinking and imagination, and that's where creativity comes from. That's why they say left-handers are very good writers and poets,
Oh,
and
I wish
they're,
I was.
they're into art. We're into art, very good at art, things like that have to do with right minds.
My grandson's left-handed.
Yeah,
Believe it or not. Yeah.
my son is too. My
Yeah.
son's left-handed like me. Yeah.
Nice.
But that cannot be something that's inherited, though.
I
see the dog. It looks so funny.
Is he behind me
He's
again?
intently looking at you, taking every bite. And he's licking
I
his
can't
chops.
see him. He's behind my back.
Go away, brother.
Yeah, they love me when I got food.
Oh yeah. Say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Poor things.
Uh,
I mean, because I'm not thinking of them. For them. It was very nice of their mother.
had I not seen you holding your fork, I wouldn't
Huh?
have recognized you were left-handed. Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Right?
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, that's how I recognize that. Anyway,
Yeah.
so as I was saying, yeah, there's certain things that that we all do and say that kind of reinforce that sense of a separate self, and the birth certificate is one of the strongest. It's one of the strongest, most obvious, independently, one of the most obvious ones to reinforce individuality. Because then then if we look at the birth certificate, it's unique in itself. It's unique in itself because of the information that's on it. The information that's on that document has to do with the body mind, but that's it though. See, that's it. It's the body mind, this birth certificate. It's not necessarily ours. Now we say it's ours because we're born with this body. We're born into it. But that's another interesting thing. At what point does the life force enter the body mind when it's born?
Right.
Now, that's quite a debatable
We were
subject
talking about
to
that
discuss.
just the other day too. We were talking about that the other day too, is when
Yeah.
does that happen? When do they, and we even wondered if you could raise a child to somehow not become identified with that. And it was like, yeah, it's an interesting discussion.
So,
And
yeah. So what I was going to say is that when we take that first breath, that is the moment that we are considered to be alive.
yeah,
Because in a sense, when we're in the embryonic fluid and when we're in the womb, and we still have the umbilical cord and all that, we're still kind of considered not really born yet.
right. Well, you ain't going until you're breathing. I mean, that's when
Yeah,
they know
there you go. Yeah, so that's what we say. We say when you take your first breath, that's when you're born, technically.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that you're not alive when you're a fetus. When you're a little fetus and it's developing, there's still an individual there. So that's kind of, it's kind of difficult to tell. And to say it all depends on certain factors, such as those, where when the body mind takes its first breath, that's when it's born. So that's what we all agree upon. We agree.
That makes
upon
sense
that.
because
Yeah.
your first breath in is when you're born, and your last breath in is out. Your last breath is out. Your first breath is in, and your last breath is out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just looking at your dog. He's so
Poor thing. Oh,
he's putting.
my mom. She used to spoil him. He gets so jealous of the other dogs. It's like he literally hears them walking and he starts going, oh. It's like they're coming. No. They're gonna beg too.
Anyway.
Yeah, I broke my left arm.
Oh,
I broke my left arm when I was I don't know, 6, something like that, 7.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to do things with my right hand. So
you
now
did.
I'm mildly ambidextrous, It's like,
okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll forget I'm left-handed and I'll be eating. It's like it feels a little different, but I don't really know why. It's like, and then someone go, oh, I'm using the. Yeah, it's like when I write left-handed, unless like I can write on a chalk, or I used to. I used to be able to write on a chalkboard right-handed for some reason. It looked pretty nice too. My handwriting was nice on the chalkboard.
Well, you can actually train. From my understanding, you can actually train yourself to write with your right hand as well, both hands.
Yeah.
But it takes time. It takes repeating and it takes a little bit of time and effort, and then the flow will be a little bit easier. But some of us are so strongly left-handed
Right.
to that point where we do almost everything with the left hand and the left foot.
Oh,
Kick a ball with the left foot.
I've heard about that, and I heard somebody said something about. I think I was watching The Big Bang Theory, and they asked. I don't know what it was. They were questioning that too. What dominant foot? What's your dominant foot? And I was like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, there's. And I was like, I don't even know. That's an interesting idea.
And the dominant foot should be the left hand if you're left-handed.
It should be
the
my left foot.
The foot, yeah, it should be.
Hmm.
That should be the dominant.
Well, most likely
But-
it is then.
But scissors, for some reason, I learned to use scissors with my right hand somehow.
Oh, well, a lot of things that's how we were taught. They put them in our hands that way, and like baseball, nobody showed me how to hit a ball left-handed.
Yeah.
They showed me the right-handed way. It's like I
Yeah.
don't even know why I'm left-handed, to be honest. It's like
When
And
we're
I've
a
heard
baby,
huh?
when we're a baby, and a spoon is handed to us, it depends on which hand we grasp that spoon that will determine which hand we normally use. And that's a natural thing too. My dad used to get a kick. Apparently, my mom told me that my dad once used to mess with me
Mm.
whenever it's time to eat. He would put the spoon in front of me, and I would grab it with my left hand. And then what my dad did, he removed the spoon from my left hand and put it in my right. And that's what I did. I moved it back to the left hand again. So just think of that. Just doing that taking the spoon from the right hand to the left hand. That's a natural response there. It's a natural thing that's going on. It's not something that's predetermined where we say, okay, I'm going to be left-handed. No, it's some kind of natural way of preference. It seems to be a type of preference.
I wonder why though.
That's-
I wonder what
It's automatic somehow.
just
I don't
is,
know.
huh? Yeah.
I don't know why, but somehow.
Doesn't matter really, I guess.
No, it doesn't. But it's kind of
It's just
interesting to look
interesting.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a why to anything, I guess.
Yeah. So there it is.
Maybe something happens in the womb that, something is like you move something, maybe something rubs you the wrong way. So this hand moves to compensate whatever is going on. You're like, shit, So it's like that part of the brain develops. I don't know. Just as
Well,
good
there's
a
another
guess as
one.
anything.
There's another one, the thumb sucking.
Oh,
Either it's the right thumb or the left thumb. For me, it was the left because I was already left-handed. So I don't know. It all
No
happened
idea.
there. It all happens in the womb somehow. And maybe it's a dicey thing. Maybe it's a chance.
Yeah, huh?
Maybe it's just by chance of the odds.
I've never even researched any theories about it. Have you?
Yeah,
About why
I kind of looked into it. Yeah, I looked into it, and they say 20% of the world's population is left-handed, but they don't know how or why, what causes left-handedness.
Huh.
It just seems to be a natural thing that happens, natural process, a natural way of happening somehow.
Yep. Okay, little bad dogs. Well, it's very good food and very charitable.
Oh yeah. He's looking at your face, looking at the bowl.
Was there any left?
Can I have it? No, don't look at me that way. Pup?
I got 3
Fuck.
dogs in here, all of them looking at me like
Yeah.
they know one of them's my favorite. Who's my favorite? Well, let's see. You can all have a piece of rice.
A piece of rice.
Oh, see you making a mess here. There you go. Merry Christmas. Here you go. Here you go. See, I'm a nice human. Here you go. There, there.
Puff.
See? Merry Christmas. Okay. If you can carry it in the kitchen, you can have it.
They want that bowl.
Yes.
Sure they do.
It's got chicken bones. I mean, vegetarian bones.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Terrible human. I bet you if I had to murder my food, I probably would go vegetarian. Maybe. Or I definitely would adopt the feeling of not caring them or something. Something would happen. I'd probably starve because I couldn't kill and catch anything to kill.
I think I'll go with fish myself. If I had a preference,
Yeah.
I'd go with fish, yeah.
It seemed to be more attainable than trying to chase something on land.
Yeah. Plus there's a lot more of it, plenty. There's always fish in the sea. Plentiful.
More dogs in the park. I mean, fish in the sea. No. They look so heartbroken. They never get the chicken bones, but they always want them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry you guys are gonna suffer because I'm too lazy to get up and move the food at this moment. Oh shit. Yeah.
So anyway, the things that we learn that seems to cause a separate sense of self. First of all, is language. We learn the ABCs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We learn the 23 letters of the
I
alphabet.
don't have any.
Yeah.
23. I believe
20,
you.
23 letters. Yeah.
X, Y, and Z.
And also numbers.
Numbers.
So we learn numbers because numbers kind of make the world go around in a sense as well. Numerical values of things. Everything has to do with numbers. Arithmetic, math. They say do the math. Oh yeah, the math gets done.
It's so funny, the whole evolution of it all.
Yeah, the structure of it. Yeah, the
Thought I
structure
was
of
super
the
fat like
things that we,
that.
yeah, the structure of the things that we do, things that we take for granted. But the things that we learned aren't really thought about or thought through so well until somebody brings it up. See, I'm bringing up regarding noticing or that self-realization. If we focus on what causes us to feel like an individual, that sense of a separate self, if we examine that, that's where it all starts. It all begins with self-realization. And once that is recognized, then the non-duality will begin to become more clearly understood. Non-duality will become more clearly understood when we examine the self, the core self, and we examine that sense of individuality, that sense of a separate self. What causes us to feel as though we're an individual or a person? There's nothing bad about that.
I was wondering, that same thing. It's like, you see little kids when they're like, little kind of kids that like they first discovered that, this thing moves and stuff, and it's like, or sometimes they'll scratch themselves with their own hands. Then people put those little gloves on because they don't. It's like, this hand is like, something's getting me. It's just,
Yeah, they don't realize it.
yeah, it's just, isn't that
Doesn't
just
dawn on them.
amazing? Huh?
Yeah, they don't recognize, they don't realize that they're doing that to themselves.
I'm being attacked. Yeah.
Until that brain has to develop a bit more. When the brain,
Right.
the brain develops a little bit more, then it begins to learn, and
It's
it
almost
begins
like
to
the
form.
hand has its own mind,
Yeah,
right? It says, "What's this? Oh, it's a face. Let's grab
yeah.
it."
So it's to start this learning all these different things,
Yes,
and
sense.
it takes a while to get all of that together. And once all that's learned, you get a little bit better at it, better and more refined. But that's the funny thing, though, isn't it? That it's just a natural way that the human evolution just simply uh, took shape. It took form in the way that it has, in the things that we learned. And first of all, the language you learn, and then putting together ideas and thoughts and all the thinking, all the thoughts that we continue to entertain. Every single thought that's entertained is either examined or it's left alone. Certain thoughts that we carry, and I say we carry thoughts in a sense because the body mind has them. The body mind is always constantly thinking. So the thoughts the body mind has, we don't really necessarily formulate them or coax them out. They just somehow appear to have a life of their own. It apparently appears to be that thoughts begin to take shape and have a form and a life of their own if we give it attention. Now that's that That's that double slit experiment again.
Mm,
The double slit experiment is by
that came up.
noticing, observing that experiment, observing the protons go through those two slits and then come out a pattern, a wave. Either that's going to be a particle or a wave. It becomes a wave when it's observed. If it's not observed, then it's a particle. So in a sense, everything that's looked upon or gazed upon with the eyes of the body mind is actually distorting what is going on out in the world in the reality base. So we look upon something, we actually change what we perceive. What we perceive out in the world is thought to be this way or that way. It's thought to be in some particular duality. And that's kind of how it all begins. It all starts from our perspective. So, how and why does each individual have a different perspective? Well, obviously, because we're coming at reality in a different way, in a different form, based on what we look upon or what we gaze upon, and then the definition that we give objects that we see in the world.
Yeah.
You may notice certain objects of things in a room, and then I may notice a whole different set of objects and things that I'm looking. I can look upon a whole array of items in my room now, and every single one of these things that I look upon have a definition, or they have an identification that can be categorized. That's really interesting how a person will do that. A person will take things in reality and sees them and defines them somehow or categorizes them.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
and
very disturbing if your things don't always fit into that category too, man.
it can become disturbing. Yeah, if it gets to you more, then for if everything if things that are not in their place, it might become bothersome to you, or you may notice it more.
Or you
And if
know,
you yeah, it's fine.
sorry.
Well, yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say that, like, how they say that it's made me wonder. They've said that that our minds, like, if something's not even conceivable, sometimes we won't even, like, it wasn't conceivable for the Native Americans, that people or whatever, the Aztecs, that someone would show up in a boat. So some people said they didn't even see that happening. It's like they didn't see because they couldn't. So I thought, well, wouldn't that be strange if just as using that as an example, if there were aliens or ships that were out there, but our inability to actually conceive of it blinded us from what was right in front of us, so to speak.
Yeah, right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Just really didn't notice it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like when I've lost stuff, can't find it, and then something's right there, and it's like, no, it wasn't right there. I was just looking. Yeah. And then it's like it's there for even though it would seem to be invisible for me. You ever have that strange shit? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
like your
Where
wife
you
probably finds what you're looking for, like,
Yeah, you think you lost a certain item, and then it's recovered, and then it's found.
Yeah.
That's kind of unusual when it happens. It makes you wonder, how many things am I overlooking now?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
because our brain only pays attention to what it deems to be important, though, or the brain.
True.
Brain seems to only value what seems important. Like, that's one of the discussions that they were having in the other cafe. Is like, speaking of the brain, that when we were hunter gatherers, that we worried about food securities and stuff. And then they said, now in our new society, that, well, this is how I heard it anyway, that in our new society, that once we get food securities, that we somehow create a new stress for ourselves, needing that new car, needing that, the next vacation, needing whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about the food no more. So you start creating these other needs for yourself. I thought that was an interesting thought.
It is. Then you could also look upon a need as maybe even a want. You could kind of separate them even further, saying there's needs and wants.
Yeah.
Well, a want is something you really don't necessarily need.
Right.
You could do without it, but it turns into a luxury.
Right.
So wants in a sense are luxuries. Needs are things that are necessary. Things like food and water, shelter.
Right.
Those things are necessary.
Warmth. Yeah.
Temperature. Yeah. How you feel.
I can't remember. I believe he's a Swami. It's like when I first started looking in the non-dual area, non-duality, neo-Advaitin, whatever. Somebody was talking to him about, I can't remember exactly, but I remember him explaining that if we didn't have fear and pain, what that would look like for this giant organism. It's like he said, we couldn't survive. It just wouldn't. You had no fear, you'd walk out into traffic. You had no fear, you'd burn. If you had you'd burn yourself on a stove or in the fire.
Right.
Or
learn things that are learned. Yeah, learn responses.
A lion would eat you. A lion,
Right.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these things are for the body to survive. It's not so much. I don't think it's much more than. I mean, those are there for a reason. Yeah, to keep the body alive. Right? I mean, that's the
Yeah.
You need to eat,
What
you need to excrete, you need to pee, all those things keep the body functioning.
Yeah, it all depends on what's an immediate threat.
Yeah,
Are there any imminent threats in your environment?
Yeah.
How much security do you have? We look into those things. We look into things that make us feel comfortable via the security. If we lock the front door, we feel safer.
Yeah.
We lock our doors to keep, unwanted people, outside. We don't want to leave that door unlocked so anybody can just walk in.
Yeah.
So we have to think in terms of those ideas that way. If we don't think that way, then what's going to happen? Well, just what I said. Anybody could just simply walk in if that door is unlocked.
Right.
If that door is locked, then somebody might ring the doorbell. And then you find out what they want. Why are you ringing my doorbell? So yeah, that's really interesting when you mention that about needs and wants. Because the extra added feature in terms of sustaining a dwelling, you gotta have some form of income, some type of income. If you have income, then you could pay for the bills and things like that, like the lighting, the electricity, the water, the gas, the energy. There's always going to be energy that's going to be used and consumed. It's always going to
think,
be
Richard,
around.
Richard, what you need to do is find a 10-bedroom house, do weekly retreats, maybe spiritual. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to hold it together. During the weekdays, serious 24-hour intense non-dual therapy,
Yeah.
and then that'll be the high price during the Monday through Friday. The weekends will be the discount price.
Yeah, if I made this, if I focused on this a little bit more, like some of these other speakers do,
Yeah,
they go and they travel. I mean, look at Andreas Mueller. He's going to go traveling again and
yeah,
go to different places around the world. It takes money to do that.
it does, huh? Yeah,
Yeah. So you got to have at least maybe a second income
something.
to be able to swing it. But yeah, if you're going to start it somehow, you got to begin and start somewhere. But yeah, I mean,
So-
I don't really give it this much effort. These
Yeah.
satsangs that I hold and things like that. I don't emphasize. I don't try to gain a fan base or anything like that. You know, although they seem to be popping up left, right, and center now. There's more new speakers almost every day that are showing up on YouTube now.
Yeah,
So I
it
think
does seem that way,
if,
huh?
if I reserve my own spot and I have my own unique way of presenting the message, then and I covered all the bases. I know I have. If you look at my website, I think I pretty much have said
You know,
as much as there is to say about the subject.
in some ways, I mean, maybe it's poetic. I never looked at it like that, but I think it's different. But I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say there's similarities, but there is similarities. Like Nancy, I mean, her. I don't want to say they're the same because they're not the same, but like she put her message on the internet too. You know, she also wrote books, but she you know, and that's like she said that if people want to support her, the best way is to buy a book, you know. So
Yeah.
for her anyway, I mean, I think she had 9 or 10 books now, which I thought, when she first said that, I thought she had 1 or 2 books. It's like, dang girl, you're a writer. You got 10 books. I
Yeah.
didn't say that, but I was thinking that, so, but I want to get one of her books. I haven't, I see it on Amazon. I don't remember exactly how much it is because I don't have any money, so I didn't bother looking yet. But yeah, I thought that was a fair statement by her. And you have your message on the internet too, like her.
Yeah. Well,
So
what
if you
I've
put
done
it
is
in,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say if you did put it in book format, even
Yeah.
PDF, I guess is what they call it.
Uh-huh.
Some people might find it more available or attractive, maybe, too. That it might be. I don't know. This might be a more comfortable thing to have it in that. They might like opening it up on a book kind of thing, rather than
Yeah.
scrolling on a web
Kindle.
page. Yeah, like on a Kindle thing. I don't know, just saying. But whatever, man.
I think I'm just a bit lazy in that respect.
I am. I'm
know?
very lazy too, man.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying that, I got my back surgery and stuff, but in some ways I think I got used to the way things were, it's like
Yeah.
people taking care of me and
Uh-huh.
it's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
I can do what I can do, so whatever, but
Well, you come to terms with it. That's what you did. You
Yeah.
simply came to terms with it. Yeah. It's just a natural response. You come to terms with the way things are. By the way
Yeah,
things
that's
are,
it.
yeah,
I'm not fucking controlling shit, you know, and I don't think
Yeah.
anybody is. And I
mhm,
don't, and in a way, I don't begrudge anybody either for,
yeah,
you know, it's like, of course, I don't always like the way things may happen, but
mhm,
the same way, I don't hold anybody any more responsible than I hold myself for being a dumb shit or however you want to call it, you know, acting
yeah,
the way we act, you know, it's
uh-huh.
like we're just doing what there's, it's just happenings, I guess you could say. I don't know.
Well, I would say our behavior is a reaction to what is apparently appearing to go on around us.
Right.
We're going to react based on what is apparently appearing to be happening around us.
Exactly. Your house is burning, you put the fire out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess you can always second guess yourself afterwards whether you should have grabbed the cat or the dog first or grabbed this or that or that. I guess any of those kind of things can have. Second guessing is a very easy thing to do. But it's pointless, right? I mean, what would be if you want to be honest about it, it's pointless because it's not like you really have any, it just unfolds the way it unfolds.
That's right. Life is apparently appearing to appear however it will appear. It's going to appear however it apparently appears.
You know, one thing I didn't like is when somebody said that animals, you know, and animals, or at least it felt like they were saying that animals don't, that somehow, like anybody could know, they were saying that animals don't something. I don't remember exactly what they thought they didn't do, but I thought that's kind of presumptuous to think that we know, for anyone to say what they think an animal knows when hell, these humans don't even know what about fucking us. We're gonna sit and judge animals or plants or and say that they're dumb or they're smart or they have no feelings or this or that. I mean, I just think that's kind of I don't think that's you know, who cares what I think, but I'm gonna say what I think anyway. That I just don't think that's
Sensible?
yeah. If you don't even know your own self and you know, you say, I don't know anything, I don't know this or all that, but yet you can say, well, this animal this or that with such certainty. It's like, how could you say that? You know so little about yourself, but yet you're so certain about what's happening in an animal brain, or a plant. What makes you certain of those things? I just
Right.
don't agree that you could be so certain, or people can be so certain. Not you, because you didn't say anything.
No, I know what you mean. Certainties.
I'm respectfully disagreeing with someone that made a statement, and I might have misunderstood it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I thought I don't agree with that, you know. And I don't
Yeah.
mean any disrespect when I disagree.
Yeah.
I just mean that how can you know that when we don't even know our own selves? We don't know what, you know. It's just kind of the message of non-duality is there's nothing. So if there's nothing to know, how could that be any less than us? Or how could you know what that animal's thinking when we don't know what we're even doing? I don't know. That's just kind of how I felt.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you're referring to, I think what I'm gathering here is that you're referring to the value. What value do we place on things? Do we place a value on animals? Do we find value in animals whereby they have a right to live or exist just
Right.
as we do?
Yeah.
They want to live. In fact, they want to live too.
Yeah.
There's no
They're loving. Animals
Yeah.
are loving.
Yeah, they don't really think in terms of they need to live. They're just
Yeah.
living. They're existing. And it's kind of an unconditional, free a free natural way of existing, where a dog or cat, you see how it exists. It's not sentient in a sense of where it has a sense of awareness, of a sense of itself. It's just living. It's just going about being a cat or going about being a dog. It doesn't think about dogging, or the cat don't think about catting. You know?
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what they
it's true. And so the same can be said about people, body
Yes.
minds, body minds,
Nobody
action
knows
figures.
nothing.
So there it is. The body mind action figure of a cat is the cat catting, the dog dogging, and then all the other types of animals that we categorize or we have names
Hey,
for.
as long as we're all in the same boat, I can digest that.
Well, there it is.
As long,
See, there it
as
is.
long as we're, huh?
There it is. That's what you're saying. You're saying in the same boat.
Right.
So that boat that we're in appears to be the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah,
this world,
whatever.
this reality.
Yes.
Yeah, this reality we're kind of
Mirage,
sharing.
dream, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Maya.
Oh, definitely Maya. Oh yeah. There's all kinds of Maya going on.
Somebody was talking to me about, I said Maya,
Yeah.
and I had to clarify if they meant uh, the Mayan culture, or if they were talking about Maya, because the way they worded it, it almost sounded like they were talking about, Maya,
The Maya Native
or-
Americans. Yeah.
that's what they were talking about. But the way
Right.
my mind picked it up is, I thought they're talking, this cornball.
Yeah. You thought maybe they were talking about Maya in terms of the Indian Maya
Yeah.
that refers to reality. That which is attributed to thought patterns.
Isn't it
Thought
interesting that
process.
isn't it the Incas or the Mayas? I don't remember which ones that they thought that some white bearded guy was supposed to come back, and that's what they thought the Spanish I guess you call them conquistadors or conquerors, whatever, Spaniards. That's what they thought they were that being come back. I just find it interesting that there was a white hair that being was in their stories. It's like, I mean, here they are, nice brown skin, wonderful brown, and they have a story of a white fair skinned man showing up. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Where'd
Stories.
that come from? Huh?
Stories. Yeah, there's just a story. And that was brought up recently in one of Andreas Mueller's
Oh yeah.
satsangs. He was referring to story, that
Uh-huh.
every body has a story, and the reason why they have a story to tell is because each body mind is perceiving reality in their own unique way, and so they have stories about that. They have stories about the world around them and the reality and the lifestyle that they're living. All of these things are attributed to the body. The body mind wears certain kinds of clothes, likes certain kind of music, reads certain kind of books, and those are stories in terms of what each body mind is going to find value in or find interest. So whatever the body mind finds interest in will cause them to apparently appear to have certain types of preferences, certain tastes. Is that a kind of a free will? Well, in a sense, it seems to be, it apparently appears to be a free will that's exerted. You're choosing one thing over another. Let's say you prefer chocolate over vanilla, or you prefer strawberry over vanilla, or something like that, or a certain flavor, or you have
Or
a
you-
preference. You have
or
a favorite
you-
color. You like the color blue more than green.
There's
Things like
I'd
that.
say, what
Yeah.
about the possibility if it's just an appearance of you know, it's an appearance of choice when there really, isn't, but you believe there is.
Yeah, could be.
I was thinking of that, like, because they talk about free will and stuff like that. And it's like, they refer to animals as being instinctual, right? Animals act on
Yeah.
instinct. And it's
Right.
like, I wonder what an animal thinks. Like, it's like, do they think, oh, I have no control over this? That would be instinct. Or do they think, hell, I'm going south for the winter? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, both are possible. I think, I know people don't like to attribute. I think the reason why people don't like to give animals and plants any sense of like feeling, or they can't have emotions, is it makes it harder to kill them, right? It's like they don't want to. If you believed, when you cut that little chicken's head off before it died, like I remember, I remember when we were raising chickens. I remember seeing the chicken, and I swear to God, it knew it was gonna die, and it really bothered me to watch. I could see it in its eyes. It knew it was, that was it. And yeah, made me sad for the chicken. What's up, homie? And I just ate chicken too. So yeah. Yes.
What time is it? Remember?
1 o'clock. I don't care. Your room clean? Your sister's room's clean. It's nice. Yeah. Asking me if his girlfriend could come over tomorrow. Anyways. Yeah. I don't know. The reason I say that is because if you ever seen like an animal, I'm sure you've watched the videos where like, what was it? It was, I don't know if it was a fucking monkey or, I know it was a predator cat. Maybe it was like a cheetah with a deer, a baby deer or something. And it killed their mother or something. The cheetah, I think, or the cat, and the baby deer was left. And it followed the predator, and they bonded, basically, make a long story short. And it was like, what the fuck? It's like it didn't kill out of hatred or greed, and I just find that interesting that if you watch a lot of, well, it seems to be, there's a lot of it on the internet, of animals being compassionate towards one another, cross-species compassion, like,
Yeah.
There's this one video of this bird feeding a mouse that was trying to get some food. He took it over and put it close to the fence for him to get it. I was just like,
Yeah.
well, who the fuck would have thought that they'd do that? Here, buddy, times are tough, Shit. Just, I don't know. And so, oh, you're just attributing human emotions to animals. Okay.
And then
well,
you see a parakeet with a cat.
Yeah.
A cat's laying down with a bird.
Yeah.
Instead of going after it, it's instinct. See, it thinned out that far. It got so domesticated to the point of where it lost its instinct to hunt or go after it.
Yeah.
Go after a bird. You
They'll
see,
say that.
that's what can happen to our intervention, mankind's intervention with animals and the animals that we tame. We could take, and generation after generation, it thins out even further. So you have so many generations of cats that the cat that's indoors has other cats, and those cats all they know is an indoor world, and then those
Oh.
cats have babies, and that next
You know-
generation is that much further from the instinct to hunt. The instinct
say
in the
that-
cat should be to hunt, you know.
Yeah.
But it lost it because it doesn't have to go after food anymore. In other words, it's not living in the wild like the wild cats used to. It's being domesticated. So the degree of domestication will determine how far it goes to becoming
Yeah.
domesticated, to the point of where it becomes a pet, and 100% a pet, because you can teach it tricks too, teach it how to do certain maneuvers and movements. And no, it's really interesting. That's kind of what could happen with referring to interspecies.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is what's happening with the cats, the dogs, and the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. The instinct is diminishing. The instinct diminishes. Yeah. If it's no longer being used, then it's not going to show up in the animal. But yeah, well, we look at those differences, though. We look at those differences with people and with animals and with pets, and we notice the things that happen, that go on. But if examined very closely, then we begin to notice things that we may not have noticed before. That's what seems to change another person's viewpoint or perspective, depending upon how clearly you get a point across or you make a point. If you bring up a certain subject and you discuss about that subject to such a degree that you try and see it some other way, but you can't, such as this message. I've been sharing this message with you for a long time now, it seems. And it apparently appears that we can't go back. In other words, we can't go back to thinking of ourselves as individuals anymore. Because I've gone that far into explaining how it apparently appears to be. So you notice that much. If we threw in, let's say, another person that began to gradually show up, and if we got a third or fourth person show up in our Zooms,
Yeah.
just think of what would happen there.
I
What
already
would happen?
I go to other Zooms,
Yeah.
and I guess it would be fine. I don't know. I don't think that it should be. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I go to the Exploding
Yeah.
Rainbows. I went to the Free Flow Cafe today. This is all today, and then now I'm having a meeting
Yeah.
with you. So
Uh-huh.
but the other ones are all fairly decent sized groups, really. I mean, like,
Yeah.
5, 6 people. Sometimes
Yeah.
they even do breakout rooms,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
you get better communication with each other, which, yeah.
But doesn't it make you wonder how did they get their numbers? I mean, here we are. It's just us two right now. How did they turn into 3, 4, and 5?
I don't know. Well, people
Yeah.
invited me. I was
Uh-huh.
told that, I thought about inviting Jenny, but I didn't know how you felt about that, and
Yeah.
I didn't know if she'd want to come either, but
Well, I'll tell
know,
you can invite
you-
anybody you want here. I mean, they're always
Right.
welcome. It's up to you if you want to do that. And if you do, that's kind of how the group's going to grow. You invite one
I
person,
figured,
they invite somebody else, and that person invites, and that's how it
yeah,
happens.
you invite them
goes out.
once. If they don't like it, they won't say, "Hey, when's that meeting?" Or they'll just
I
kind of
think
like
the word I think the word
go
is
away.
resonate. The word is resonate.
Yeah, if they don't resonate, they just kind
Are
of
you going to
people just
resonate with that group or not? Yeah.
yeah. And I understand that because I'm not trying to be mean, but
Yeah.
well, let me see, what's her name? Anyway, there's a woman speaker who, when I first heard her, I just did not. I mean, you like her,
Agree.
huh?
Oh, you didn't like her?
I didn't resonate with her. I didn't really feel the message, but
Are you
after
talking about?
listening to
Are
her
you talking
more,
about
I'm
Lisa?
like,
Are you
huh?
Are you talking about Lisa Cairns, the blonde one?
No,
Not that one.
starts with an A.
Amanda. Amanda.
I'll close my
Ariana.
door, and who cares?
Ariana.
Ariana,
The one
yeah,
we were listening to the other day.
yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
really when I very first heard her, I didn't care much for her. I think it's funny. It's like that way for a lot of the people, or I didn't like. Sometimes I look at it like I'm just not in the. It's not the right time or something. Sometimes, like, because I'll come back and revisit certain like speakers, and I'll hear it different. Like,
Yeah.
I think I told you one time I listened to Saltzman, and I felt almost offended by what he was saying, because I felt like he was destroying everything that I felt was valuable to my belief system. It's like
Yeah.
I shouldn't really care what anyone thinks anyway. I mean, his view of life is his view of life, right? Or, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, if he believes that, that's what's real for him. And if I believe that, Santa Claus is real, that's what's real for me, even though he might not show up. Ah, shit. But yeah, I remember being so, his message is really us. It's like, you leave me nothing. If I believed in what you said, there'd be nothing left to. It felt almost like an agnostic, or maybe agnostic. Just I don't even know if agnostic's the right word, but just very nothing. I guess it'd be nothing. Really, truly nothing, and I didn't like that. Way back then. I think partly I was dealing with my mom, what she's going through, and what would the consequences of that mean. I didn't want to process those kind of things. It's like, and then after she died, it was hard for me to, even consider, because I didn't really feel like the message of non-duality and how I felt really made, they weren't really compatible, because, I didn't want somebody to tell me my mom never existed, or, it was just her ego that died, or whatever. I didn't want to hear any
Yeah.
of it.
Right.
It hurt too much. I
Yeah.
just wanted to feel the pain, and I didn't want to feel. It's not like I chose, or I don't know. I didn't, not like I wanted to feel pain, but I didn't want to
be taken away either. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want someone to try to take away
Right.
any of it.
Well, in a sense, what we seem to do is formulate connections with certain
Yeah.
people in our lives. And that's especially going to happen naturally with a parental figure.
Yeah.
Parental
yeah,
figure
exactly.
that cared for us for so long and took care of us. And if they did, in a sense, all those years of taking care of us compiled and created a symbiosis, so to speak, or a relationship. A relationship or connection was created based on that caring factor, that the things that they did for us. They fed us, made sure we had a place to stay, shelter, food, clothing, all the basic necessities were provided for us freely. And since they were provided for us freely, we feel that connection there. We feel a symbiosis, a relationship is formed, and it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing that happens because we have this feeling of gratitude, or we should have a feeling of gratitude for that degree of care that was given to us freely. And so that's where that feeling of closeness comes from. It stems from that. It stems from all those elements of caring for us through the years. And so we formed a bond with that person that way. And that's what happened, and that's what should be respected. Yeah, I agree. That should be respected to some degree. And if you're just going to turn around and say, no, there's nobody there, there really was. There really was a person there. And that person meant something to us. Now, meaning, reason, and purpose. Although there is no meaning, reason, purpose to anything, we still created that sense of gratitude and that connection because we recognized that without that degree of help, of assistance, then it wouldn't have turned out the way it did. It turns out the way it did because of the freely giving of another person. And so the parental figure turns into a mother or a father figure or mother figure. And that's the way it happens. And yeah, it could happen with a grandparent too. It could be a grandmother or a grandfather. It could happen that way with them, or an aunt or an uncle. But those are roles. Those are obviously roles that are played. And then we look at the bigger picture. That yeah, there's these roles that each person does play, in a sense. And so, to some degree, we meet them out. We meet it out, depending upon who may be involved in our lives. So there it is. And that's just describing the humanity. There is a degree of humanity involved with individuals, with people. When I say people, individuals, those of us that we see out in the world as obviously those that have certain families, certain names, certain family trees, And that apparently appears to be the case. And do we go based on that? Do we go based on the name of the person, the forename and the surname and the family tree? And well, that's what naturally apparently appears to be the case. Yeah, we apparently appear to identify. That's how we identify each individual, each different person by their name. How else are we going to find the distinctions? There is no other distinction other than those obvious distinctions that apparently appear to be in the forefront or appearing.
In a way, the
know?
whole
Hmm.
what do you like to call it? Your certificate of authenticity.
Yeah, the certificate of authenticity. Yeah,
It kind of that reinforces that. Yeah, I'm William. It says so right here.
right. So that reinforces the individuality right there.
Yeah.
So in a sense, that's kind of how most people
Funny.
just simply take that for granted and they just accept it as a natural thing because it's
So
become
that makes
so
us like an
well
object,
ingrained.
though, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
That
no, but
we
yeah, it's become so well ingrained in the person, you know.
we become like an object, though, when we accept that
Yeah,
we're a birth certificate title person like that. I mean,
yeah, individual, right? So
yes,
we
yeah,
become, yeah,
object.
in a
Yeah,
sense, we become an object. We become that person. We become that individual, that first name and that surname,
yeah.
and that
You
birth date
identify.
that's on it. Yeah.
Well,
If you
not you,
self-identify
maybe,
with
but I
it,
mean people.
that's what you are. You self-identify with it.
I hate saying you and I, but I don't know how else to
Well,
refer
yeah,
to
I understand what you mean. There is a you, there's an I,
Yeah,
there's a
I
me,
know.
but we're just simply using these terms, these pronouns in a way
What are
of
these non-dual? Are these
for the sake of the discussion. Yeah.
dual?
For the sake of the discussion, it's understood. It's understood for the sake
Dual,
of the discussion that we use these words. Yeah.
the duality of language. We're using dualistic language.
Yeah, dualistic language, exactly, precisely. So since we're using dualistic language, you cannot help and you can't avoid the terms that are associated with that, with the duality. And so we use those terms and those words in conversation. But this is just idle conversation that we're having.
Right.
Yeah, we're sharing our story. And if we can share our story, that's okay. To have just a conversation in this particular way, whereby there's a certain story that
Nope.
we're leading. We're living a life of a story of that person that happens to have a birth certificate of a certain type, and that just apparently appears to be the case. But that's
Yeah.
just the apparent appearance of it, though. That's as far as that goes. But that's okay to share a story as well.
Isn't
I don't
it
have a
funny?
problem with it. Uh-huh.
Isn't it funny how some people actually believe, like my mother, she believed that that this life and previous lives were all written in some hall, recorded in books. That there's a record keeper of all that stuff. And she
Yeah.
explained that to me when I was I don't know, about 14, maybe 13.
Uh-huh.
And then she believed, she said this guy named Papa or something, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but took her on that journey and all this crap. And I thought it was a bunch of horse shit, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But I don't remember my point now. But yeah, that would imply so much
if any of that was true, right? Like there'd have to be a whole nother dimension or whatever for any of that to be a reality.
Well, there's a book of life it's referred to
Yeah,
as that.
that-
There's a book of life that every person's named on it. But
yeah, heard
if
about
you, if
that.
you think about it, that sounds a bit far fetched, because there's so many different
That implies
lives.
that they're out there and stuff, right? That means there's keepers of right and wrongs, and there's keepers of something anyway. I guess you could perceive it as right or wrong.
Record keepers, you wonder.
Yeah, at least record keepers. You call they might not be viewed as right or wrong if there was a sort of thing, but I don't know. It's not knowable anyway.
Yeah, but what is hypothesized or theorized
Yeah.
is the Akashic records.
Where does that? Who is like the first person? Where? How old is that theory?
I know.
Whatever.
See,
word
you
is.
wonder. We see these books, this literature, and we come across it. We wonder, or who's the author?
Yeah.
Who was the originator? Who first wrote this? Where did they get that information from? So
A
it had
dream
to.
idea.
Yeah, well, it had to be conjured somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So who conjured it? That's what
Yeah.
I wanted.
Right. And from where are the sources?
Yeah.
What are the sources of the Akashic records?
Decided this to be a truth? That's what I
Yeah.
wonder.
And there are some near-death experiencers that are claiming that they
See?
go through what's called a life review.
Yeah.
And they go through this life review whereby every right or wrong that they ever did, they were showed episodes of their lives, like little bubbles. They went into a bubble, and this is an episode, a certain thing that happened to another person that we made them feel a certain way. And the way we made them feel is how we felt.
I was reading a message.
But yeah, if let's say we made another person feel a certain way, we would feel that same feeling that we caused them to feel a certain way.
Right.
In that Akashic records, there's those different episodes, different days of our lives, different years.
You know,
and then each one's recorded.
I was thinking that if it was understood, or if a being thought or believed that, I don't know if understood would be the right word, but if a person or being, whatever anyways, if they believed that whatever I did to you damaged me, like that would be and literally believed that, if I'm hurting you, I'm hurting me.
Yeah.
Because that would be I thought that would be quite a state to be in, a mental, what a state that would feel like to truly think like that.
Well, if you take stock in your personal feelings, that becomes a personal thing.
Yeah,
It becomes personalized. It
Separate.
depends on what degree have you personalized things, or do you have a personality to such an extent of where you believe so many things about yourself. In other words, you believe in your own story.
Yes.
If you believe in your own story to such an extent that that's all you are, you're about that story, and that you're adding pages as each day goes by. You're adding another page to your life of a book that you're the narrator of. You're the narrator of your own book, of your own story. Well, some people believe that. Some people believe in their own story and their own character and their
Yeah,
own book, and so strongly to such an extent that they keep an autobiography. They keep a diary. Keep a diary of every day, the things that they did,
yeah, yeah,
foods they ate, things they did, places they went, things like that. That's the story of a person's life,
yeah.
and that's what they go based on. They go based on those those factors that have to do with places gone, food eaten, programs perhaps even watched, television programs, televised programming, things like that. So we can either go with the story and go with that and believe that and take that birth certificate and just continue to self-identify with that person and take your first name and your surname and then just reinforce that and just live your life that way. If that's the way you're going to live your life, that's the way you choose to do so. And everybody has a right. It seems. It seems that they have a right. Did they develop that right? Well, it seemed to develop itself. That right just seemed to develop on its own. And the story came about. And so the story came about, well, then it's going to continue the story then. And that's how it goes. That's how the parent appears to go. Now, that's what I would say. I would say their parent appears to be these things that are happening. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, there's nobody, there's nothing. You know,
Yeah.
just like Ariana does that. She goes, oh, there is nothing. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
I think I didn't like that at first, you know? It's like I
Yeah.
didn't really, I don't know.
She's harping on the nihilist. It's a nihilistic way of canceling out everything. It's triple
Right.
negation. It's triple
Right.
negation is what that is. It's negating absolutely everything. Negating all of it. That none of it matters. All of it is senseless. May as
Right.
well just, close shop.
Pretty much, right? It's like you just died.
Yeah.
Is what it's almost like that. They're shutting everything down.
Yeah. Right.
I get that. Yeah, wow.
I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. And even so, even for a necessity to be there, it's not a necessity in the sense that has to be there, but I still feel that there is apparent appearing to be a story, apparent appear to be a life that we're leading, and we can't deny that. We can't turn around saying, I'm not living a life, there's no me, there's no you. I can't go quite that far in saying that to that degree. I will say this much, though. It does apparently appear to be that I feel as though I was conjured or I was made up or that my role in this life is kind of fictitious. And that my first and last name, well, there's a lot of other people that have the same name that I have. Does that make them different from me? Well, there are differences.
Right.
Obviously differences. And these obvious differences that are there, we have to go based on that.
You know what? It might sound silly, Richard. But
Yeah.
I don't know about it, but whenever there's like when I was in some Zoom and there was one other William besides me. I mean, he's kind of everybody knows him. And and then there was this another time when there was that William and another William and then me. And it was funny because every time they'd say William, I just, You know, I felt so, and I knew, you know, it's like, oh, it wasn't me, but yet, I don't know. It was just it's weird. I think it's weird when you have three Williams in one room because it's like, it just creates this weirdness for me. You know what I mean?
Will the real true William please stand up?
Oh my God. I remember being in class with William. They called him, I got a little jealous because they called him William the Conk. And I was like, well, if he's Conk, I got to be at least great, William the Great. You know? It's just funny. I don't know. But yeah. Then, you know,
But it does make it more obvious whenever you have individuals with similar names in the same
right.
room. Then it begins to become more obvious. Then you begin to notice, hey, wait a minute. Which of us is the real William?
Yeah. How many Richards are there? It's like Richard.
Right. So then you look at it that way. And then you notice, and if you should, well, you should notice that, hey, wait a minute, that's just a name. But am I this name? I'm associating myself. Wait a minute. I'm associating myself with this name. That's what I'm doing.
You're just delayed.
But do I believe it? See, it's the extent. How far do you believe in that? Do you believe in yourself? Oh, see. Do you believe in yourself? Now, when we say believing in yourself, do you believe in that person that you believe is you? Do you think you are that person that you're self-identifying with? See, that's going to be the conundrum right there. That's going to be the point of where either you recognize that or you don't. Either it's recognized or it's not.
You know, when you're talking, I spaced out and I was thinking of the Dark Night of the Soul.
Yes. Yes, the Dark Night of the Soul, that has to do with self-realization again.
Yeah.
You know, how much?
Nancy described hers as having her flesh peeled off. And I thought, well, that's but funny is I had this image when I was meditating or whatever I was doing, you know, thinking of like entering the body and becoming flesh. It was just and I like seeing it very visually, you know. It was like I don't know, I guess you could say it was like a science fiction kind of, you know, 3D hologram kind of thing happening in my brain. And,
yeah.
You know, whatever's the inner self entering the body. It was interesting. I did it from, what's funny is it was, believe it or not, it was like from the back, you know, going up, you know, it's like I entered through the backbone that way, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Actually, you're back there. You're not in the body and you're not in that mind, but you're back here somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, that's sort of how it went in. It was like I was visualized it like that. Or yeah, I guess that's proper terminology. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying though. I really do. Well, there it is. Either we're going to self-identify with the body, mind, and its story, or we're not.
Yeah.
You know. But we need to carry the body to and fro from one place to another. We still need to reckon with it, reconcile. We're going to have to come up with reconciliations, like it or not. Those are factual. Those are facts. We're going to have to eventually give this body some more food when it gets hungry. And when it gets thirsty, got to give it some drink, some water, things of that nature. It needs to go to the restroom. It's going to have to alleviate itself, and all those things are going to need to continue to happen. Like it or not, those things are going to have to continue to happen. All the rest of the extra stuff, easy.
Man.
Easy peasy, all the extra stuff.
I was in a group and they were talking about Gurdjieff and stuff, and I just now remembered I wanted to respond to, some of, because that's how I found you, was thinking of following that thread of Gurdjieff and Ospensky, which is funny because in some ways, I find it relatively related, but I think they were referring to it it seemed almost in a negative way, if I'm not mistaken.
Ospensky?
Yeah, and Gurdjieff, like, I
Yeah,
think they referred to him culty or something. I don't know if that's
Pulte.
maybe, I can't remember the terminology, but it seemed negative. And not just maybe because I think of cults as negative. I can't remember how they. I really wished I did because I wanted to respond to them about it. I'll bring it up. I know it's in one of these meetings. it's either the rainbows or the free flow cafe. So
Okay.
yeah. So I'll just mention it. Gurdjieff, blah 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 something. Yeah, I see where it goes. Oh shit. Yeah, tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's a dream. Tomorrow's an illusion. Tomorrow's unreal. Tomorrow never gets here. Tomorrow was my sister. No. Oh no, that was Tamara. I don't have any sisters. Just jokes. Yeah. Tomorrow. Tomorrow smells like anxiety. Worrying about anything that happens tomorrow. Could be good stuff too. Like I remember when I think about Christmas, that created anxiety, and that was I was happy about Christmas when I was a little kid.
That's referred to as what's not happening.
Yeah.
What's not happening is concerns for yesterday and concerns for tomorrow. What about concerns for now? Do we have any immediate concerns?
No, not at this moment.
So there it is. If we eliminate concerns in our lives, then we apparently appear to lead a more peaceful life by eliminating all these concerns. And if we think about them, they're not necessary. We need not be concerned about yesterday. We need not be concerned about tomorrow. There is only now.
Yeah.
So we live in the now and we deal with what goes on and happens now.
Right.
And that is as good as it gets. Right there.
Being in the
Apparently
net.
appears to be the case. Yep.
I remember I had just watched something about a bird standing on one leg, trying to catch a fish, right? And then I read something about it, and it said that not to be like that, not to be like the bird that just stands there and waits for something to happen,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's sort of kind of a, I didn't really, I don't know. It seemed to make sense when I read it. Right now, it doesn't to me. But yeah. But I do know that this idea that, like you said, there still seems like there's a you there or a self or whatever. You
Uh-huh.
can go, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, a something, whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
there's something. I think Nancy likes to refer to it as love. It's just love happening. So
Yeah.
that works. It works too. And I really like that.
Unconditional.
Huh?
Unconditional love, though.
Yeah, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
how she's very, you feel it. I mean, she's very loving, it's
Uh-huh.
at least I feel it, and I think most people do.
Yeah.
I anyways, yeah. But you know, just that what's inside there. Oh, we got, I guess.
Be a
We
light
got
unto the world.
it. Have us, huh?
Is she being a light unto the world?
Yeah, she is. So
Yeah.
some people even refer to her as I think it's called Rami, Rimi, something like that.
Yeah.
I thought, well, if that's how he was, if he was like her, then okay, because she's very, she's, uh, I don't know, I like I said, I met her twice, and I feel like I love her. She's a wonderful person. You
Yeah.
know, it's easy. She's easy to fall in love with. She's just such a radiant soul person,
Yeah.
whatever.
I'll have to look
Yeah.
into that. Maybe I should try to attend the
Yeah,
next one.
it's
I'll see if I can.
2:30. She does a meeting every day at 2:30 U.S. California time, I guess. Which I don't know what that is for you. I could ask Alexa if you want.
Yeah, I could look into it. I'll find out as well.
Yeah, and yeah, you just go to the rainbows, exploding rainbows.
2:30 in the afternoon. You say
Huh?
2:30 in the afternoon? 2:30 in the
Yes.
afternoon?
Yeah, now we're now forever in our permanent time. We're never gonna do daylight savings again. This is the permanent time here in America now.
Yeah.
We're not. Oh, you knew that already?
No.
Yeah, they voted on it in Congress to do away with daylight savings. So
Do away with it.
yeah,
Really?
so this is it. We're staying in this time zone, or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
We're not changing the clocks again.
You're not changing the clocks back. Okay.
Yes, we set them forward, and now we're in the right time because this is the time I was born in. So obviously, it's the right time. The summertime is the right time.
All right.
I thought, how could that be true? I thought, well, okay, well, let's see if we can prove my argument, my statement that I have no rationale or there's no proof for anything I said, but let's tweeze it out, so to speak. I thought you could probably find that I might be right because maybe they decided to create this law during, when summer started to wane. So, let's add an extra hour because we're losing summertime. So obviously that would mean summer was original time. So I don't know. It's so stupid because there is no time.
Yeah. That's true. Time's just a construct. Yeah.
Anyways, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Try. Otherwise, I'd be depressed. Not really sure what I'm doing anymore in my life, my personal life.
That's all right. There isn't anything to do. You're doing fine.
But yeah, apparently, yeah, it'll just happen.
Doing fine by not doing anything. Really? Really?
Perfect.
You are.
Yeah. Oh God. Somebody's talking about an auto accident. I don't remember if it was you or a previous group, and
Mm.
I only remember the one that I really thought I was gonna die in, and there was this few seconds as the car was rolling down the hill and it seemed like it was quite longer than it probably was. I mean, because I
The
was driving.
time stood still.
I guess, it definitely seemed like when I think about it, the idea that I needed to accept the fact that my ass was grass seemed to take a few seconds. I think some people might call that surrender. I surrendered at the fact that I was probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Acceptance to that. And then, like I said, I didn't. So the minute the cart stopped, I was like, fuck this. I'm out of here. Yeehaw. Sort of funny. Oh, yeah. What a fun trip, though, it still was. I often wonder if just the idea of me thinking that I was going to die released some of those, brain dead endorphins or chemicals and sent me on this other trip. But I was already tripping. Fuck, man. I don't even know why. Oh, well. A free trip. What can I say?
Well, as they also say, live and learn.
Yeah, I'll never go back. No, shit. Yeah, live and learn, man. Live and learn. All I could say is yeah. What's there to learn though? I don't know what to learn. What am I supposed to learn?
Yeah, you can learn anything you want, really.
Yeah, I thought about learning
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to make that commitment. Every Friday at 3 a.m. I mean Saturday. It's like then it turns into like a job or something. I might let somebody down. I might let myself down. It could be fun, you know. I mean, there's all sorts of positives too. But I think I found more negatives than positives, to be honest. As worried more about being a dumbass because it's like these people are intelligent and they're not like challenged with spelling and like you know they're not dyslexic and that kind of shit where people could sit there and tell you sound it out, sound it out. It was like fuck off because it really, I don't mean to be, it comes out as aggressive, but it just seems so irritating that aggression and anger kind of jumps out because it's so meaningless to me and so it doesn't help. It's just frustration, years of frustration of people trying to tell me to sound shit out. It's like it doesn't work for me. Can't sound shit out.
You don't have to. It's all right.
Yeah. Anyways, and I'm not a vegetarian and I can't do yoga. Like I can't sit in fucking whatever positions.
That's all right.
I'm afraid my bolts would pop out. I mean, if they did, I guess
Yeah.
so. I thought about that too. But just hearing these certain things that, I don't want to pretend to be, I don't know, anything that I'm not, so to speak. Yeah. anything that I don't know I am anyway. It's like if I know I'm not, if I know I'm something or not something, I don't want to. Yeah. I really find it interesting that more and more people are saying that, there's never not nobody. And it seems like, and then everybody, I don't know, it's so confusing. Or a sense of self or something. It's like, yeah, I don't know. What time is
It's
it? Were you, huh?
Oh, it's coming up on 7 a.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It'll be 7 a.m. tomorrow too.
What time is it over there?
I don't know. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 11:59 p.m.
11,
Oh,
almost midnight. Yeah.
it's almost tomorrow over there.
Yes, it's finally tomorrow.
That's quite
7
all right.
hours, I'll be caught up to you.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. You keep running. That's right. Running nowhere. Shit.
Well, I suppose I should let you get some rest then.
All righty, Richard. It's good talking to you.
Yeah,
You know-
likewise. I should look into some of these other signs you've been going to.
Yeah. Check them out. Like it's Exploding Rainbows. That's by Nancy. I can't know. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. I think it's called Nether Cut. Or
Okay.
Nether Cut or
All right.
Nether Cut.
I'll look into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can at least read her poetry. You'll get a flavor for what. And she has YouTube videos, and
Okay.
you'll see what her she's pretty much the same person on those YouTubes as she is in person. She's just smiley, just as
Okay.
genuine. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Okay, Richard. Well, you
All
have a
right.
good.
Yeah, you have a good week too.
All right,
Have a
buddy.
good week, William.
All right.
Take
Bye
care.
bye. Uh-huh.
Bye-bye. Thank you.